Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it again with another Wuthering Waves video. Except this time, we're gonna have a bit more of a critical piece. It's gonna be a bit of a thought piece on the progression of the meta in one specific end game mode and the massive impact that I think it's already having on the roster and the roster expansion moving forward, the new characters in the future. And the discussion that we're going to be having today features a very, very loved character by many, and a character that is somewhat disliked by others. It's going to be the best unit in Whimpering Wastes, Phrolova. And the goal of our discussion today is to break down why I think this unit is actually doing a bit more damage rather than good when it comes to the state of Whimpering Wastes. Because there's one undeniable thing that most people can say if they've had the, I'm just going to call it pleasure, of actually using her in the game mode. She's absolutely, completely, ridiculously, absurdly, disgustingly broken. Because it's AoE content that she excels very, very, very highly in. And if you look at any tier list when it comes to Wuthering Waves, they'll all basically unilaterally tell you the same thing. She's always up there. But the issue that's come forth with her being present in so many places on the roster, ladies and gentlemen, the issue that comes forth with her present everywhere is the fact that her resistance is also showing up in pretty much every single place possible. Because this reset has only highlighted just how strong she is. On the first half, you have 3 Havoc enemies and 1 Glacial enemy. Phrolova's a Havoc character, right? And as a result, she's going to deal less damage to these enemies. There's built-in resistance. The second half has 2 Havoc characters and then Dreadmains. You can see it's basically almost virtually the same, but the end result over here is that you kind of don't want to use Phrolova on both sides. There's not a huge amount of benefit. This is the second reset in a row, ladies and gentlemen, where this has occurred. This was the lineup in the prior reset. 3 Havoc enemies, 3 Havoc enemies. This is the lineup in this reset. 3 Havoc enemies. They simply changed out the Rose Shroom for a Havoc Guardian, or they like changed out this dude, but the same anti-Havoc bias. And as you can imagine, that's a bit of a concern. And one of the biggest reasons for that concern can also be consulted by simply looking at the tier list we were just taking a look at. Who do you see down here? Camellya, another Havoc character who has very good ability to deal AoE damage. But there's a reason why Camellya saw such a massive drop compared to Phrolova. And all I need to do right now, ladies and gentlemen, is just show you a little bit of gameplay. So understand that we're working with Havoc resistance right now. Understand that's one of the big issues we have. Let's just see how much score a Phrolova can get into resistance with the investment looking like this. S0, R1, S0, R1, and of course, S0, R1. And that's what it's going to be looking like for all 3 of these units. Why don't you put Camellya in the second half? Yeah, let's do Camellya in the second half with her own team. Camellya will even have the advantage of being on side with her liberation. It'll be better for her. Honestly, let's give her all the juice. Let's just give her a fully powered Rosia to get through this as well. Yeah, we got one of the best Rosias on the server. This is going to be the Rosia build. And as you can see, it's pretty fucking cracked. And so that's the unit we'll be giving this Camellya over here. She's also getting Shorekeeper. So that's a lot of juice. And let's go ahead and put our Phrolova on this side, just so you all can see what the kind of like delta is. And we're also going to make sure they're both on the same token. Let's see how this one goes, ladies and gentlemen. So what you'll notice over here is that Phrolova has one of the biggest advantages in the game.
Ready.
On the side where you have full concerto at the start of the battle, her teams are actually very good.
Break like bamboo. My move is the blade.
Oh, this will be fun. Try not to blink.
So you're noticing, right? Does it even look like we're into resistance?
The sunken depths. Ensemble. Preparatory beats. Begin.
Does it even look like we're into resistance over here, boys?
Heed echoes. Chant songs of old.
And the funniest thing is, I don't really even know what I'm doing, bro. All I know is Phrolova's rotation. I remember Chuyon's rotation for the Galbreda team. And then I just put it all together. I think the only issue you can have is being interrupted while Chuyon is like in the middle of his rotation like that one. And that's just going to cause you like a 1 or 2 second delay.
To sunken depths.
But otherwise, as you can see, boys.
Symphony of life. Where's
That's kind of a high score, isn't it?
the soul
Into Havoc resistance.
never entombed?
What sleeps within them. Mandate calls.
Into Havoc resistance. Remember that.
Break like bamboo. Nothing.
I'll keep you company. Fall from the abyss, sink into the endless deep. Oh, this will be fun.
Oblivion. Preparatory beats begin. Absolute futility.
And then all of her attacks, right? They just juggle everything. And as you're seeing, right? The score isn't the craziest thing ever. We're not reaching like 3K. But that's the point. I wanted to show you what this team does into resistance. Oh, we will exceed 3K. Because guys, you know what this means? It only gets easier to get higher scores from here.
Sleep in the whispers of sirens.
That's all this means. She can only go higher from here. That is essentially 3.3K into resistance. That means that you're going 4K, 5K without it. You need a total score of 4.5K to get all the rewards in this game mode. Into resistance, she did over 2/3 of it by herself with her team. Now let's see what a Camellya team looks like, ladies and gentlemen.
Diminish.
It might take a while for us to start building up our score. I hope you recognize that. Hopefully that's fine, because we got to do some work here. And it's going to be hard to do that work into resistance, because we're not Phrolova.
Don't run. Keep the dance going. Crafting supper.
Ooh, this is rough, bro. Holy.
Let's have fun. Vow from the soul.
And remember, right, we're doing this all with like some pretty decent... Well, I mean, it's great build, right? Like, what am I even saying here? It's not even pretty decent, it's just great. Bro, do you see this, like, lack of damage?
Is our stage. I will reborn from ancient roots.
Right, and I gotta wait for those guys to die to use my liberate. Guys, I'm even, like, trying to play, like, optimally out here and everything, too, right? I'm like, trying to make sure that I'm hitting, like, everybody over here. Okay, that's actually not bad, but... Bro, we're... At this point, the Phrolova team was, like, at, like, multiple K. Like, it was, like, at, like, 1.4 at this point. Do we activate Burning Waves yet? Okay, maybe we can make it up here by activating Burning Waves, but, like, bro, I am iffy about this one, man. Okay, we got some bounces in.
I'll warm up the sprout of budding seeds. Struggle harder.
Okay, or Tornado's just slapping the shit out of them. Oh, okay, that did a lot. Okay, we might be able to make it up here. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, that guy is like not in the AoE. Oh man, okay. That sucks, but it is what it is.
Let's have fun. Dominate. Vow from the soul.
Okay, that was actually close to optimal for that play over there. That was pretty good.
Aerial stunt.
Okay, are we gonna be able to get past at least like a little bit more? Come on.
Time for some crowd work. I'll warm up bloom from passion Feed my
We got 4 seconds left. Come on, at least we can get 2K, right? Okay, 2K. I might have been able to get like 2.2 maybe. But as you're seeing over here, guys, you might be able to get passable scores on Camellya. But guys, it's gotten so much harder to get that because if I'm just not going into resistance, this is like 3K. This is what I mean, guys. If I'm not going into resistance, this is a 3K team. And this is 5 or 6. But this is the current situation, guys, when we only have 2 Havoc DPSs in the game. Oh, wait. We have a third. It's just nobody has played Havoc Rover a single time in Weewa since Phrolova got released, and this kind of like Havoc, anti-Havoc bias balancing has occurred. So they're just kind of out. They've been out. But this, in a way, is heavily devaluing Camellya. Because if we're constantly putting an anti-Havoc bias in here, I don't really know what the point is when Phrolova's already getting 3.4K on like random first tries. Why even go ahead and do this if Phrolova's already clearing? All this does is just fuck Camellya. And the most important part, it fucks every future Havoc DPS we're ever going to have in this game. Because guys, what happens when a future Havoc DPS comes out? What if they're a Havoc Bane DPS? What if they have all these whatever, right? What do you think happens to them if the game still needs to be balanced around Phrolova? Probably not good. And when you know that the balancing that's being done for Phrolova, guys, I'll just move my chat so you can see the score, it's not doing anything anyways. She's still giga clearing with no effort. If this is the score that you get after putting 3 Havoc enemies on the side, is there a point in putting the Havoc enemies there? I'm just genuinely wondering. Is there a point in even putting them there in the first place? When all that's going to happen is people who pulled this team are the ones getting fucked. And I'm going to be real, guys. I don't think the people that pulled Rosia need to take any more L's. Especially the CCs that pulled 7 copies of her. I don't think owners of this unit need to take any more L's, brother. They've already lost enough. And even though some of them have gone to Kurofest, others are just a waste of breath. And I'm going to be honest, guys, we're suffering enough over here. Do we need to make this character even less meta-relevant than she already was? Do we need to make this character any less relevant than she already is? Where she's been replaced in the Phrolova team. And so the only home she has is with Camellya. And this is her home with Camellya.
Please, Kuro. Kuro, I need this. My Rosia
Rosia's kind of homeless. I live with Chuyan. I'm trying to help her out. Because that's what happened, bro. The homeless guy that looks homeless made her homeless. And if this level of balancing stays at the same level it's been, where we're going to have 2 remember, guys, this is going to be 2 resets in a row with anti-Havoc bias. That's 2 in a row where Rosia's been like this. Where Camellya's been like this. Are we going to go for 3? Because Phrolova's too strong in Whimpering Wastes? At this point, brother, I think Kuro Games might have just messed up with this fucking character. Because I don't know how they managed to find a way to design a unit where she feels balanced, if not significantly, noticeably, like not at the level of other TOA teams, while being so stupid in Weewa. I don't really get it. It's kind of like almost impressive how polarizing her performance is in both game modes. And in a similar sense, it's impressive how shit some characters like Yuno are in Weewa. And so, I guess the main thing that I want to say is that I think Kuro should just give up on whatever the fuck they're trying to do over here. What's the point of having this many repeated Havoc resistance floors when Phrolova's already destroying the game mode into resistance? All you're doing is cooking the Camellya owners, the Rosia owners. There's nothing else happening. Everyone's still clearing. And the thing is that this just sets a rather odd standard of, guys, I might recommend you just don't pull Havoc DPS characters, because they'll probably be unplayable in fucking Weewalk because of this shit all the fucking time. That's the standard that's being set by now. Pulling a Havoc DPS is like pulling an Ice DPS in ZZZ. Don't do it unless you want fucking suffering. Because one of the main drawbacks I'll tell people when it comes to Camellya and thinking about pulling her is that you're going to be tied down by her sharing the same attribute as Phrolova. And that alone being enough of a reason to not pull a character, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? I really urge Kuro Games to really rethink the approach that they're doing over here with the balancing on the attribute side, because whatever's going on, I think it's having unintended consequences, and all I think it's doing is hurting the teams that don't need any more pain. And the ones that you are actually trying to deal with, they don't care, bro. Phrolova doesn't care. That's going to be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this was helpful because, I mean, I think there are still some more problems with this reset. I still think it's rather hard to get the scores. And I think the HP has definitely gone up in some ways, but this extra balancing on top of it isn't really helping out. Peace out.